The Last Dance again, and I'm like, there's some shit. His commitment to there is no B plan was insanity. Like there is no plan B. Like, and he commits to whatever it is that it has to be. All right, guys, we're live. All right, guys,
Oh,
what's up? Frequency Control Podcast. William Jackson, Roberto Garibay, Robert almost up in this bit.
Tried is what he meant. This podcast is on. This is kind of a next level topic, but the subconscious mind.
so I guess I'll kick it off. Why not? So as far as the subconscious mind, it's something that that we don't really know that we're operating our behaviors from. It's where our programs come from. It's the way we just operate naturally. I think on the last podcast we ended with, for an example, you're driving and you forget that you're even driving the last 5-10 miles or whatever it was. Your body just kicks in. It's automatically operating. That's somewhat what the subconscious mind is. But more of the conscious mind is actually your conscious mind is more of your mind. So you're trying to make conscious decisions every day. You're trying to make live your life through your conscious mind. But realistically, a lot of what we're running is from our subconscious. And our subconscious, like I was saying, is programmed from how we were raised since we were kids. So a lot of those programs are already in us since we were little kids. I think they say from like the age, since we're born, like the last trimester that we're in the fetus up to like our 7th or 8th year is really when we're downloading all this information. So that's what we're feeding into our subconscious. So when we start getting into the adulthood of where we're at now, we're operating automatically out of our subconscious, and we don't even realize it sometimes of some of the programs that are running. And that even means, even if you're trying to think positive and all this thing, you're actually operating out of your conscious mind. But think of it this way, as far as like a computer, your subconscious is your operating system. Well, that's my 2 cents of kind of a rough description of my perspective of it. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, it's part of, it's thinking that's going on that you consciously don't have aware is going on. You might not even know it, but a lot of people, their subconscious is so saturated with negativity that the moment something happens, it's automatic negative. Because it's so deep into the subconscious mind, all the negativity and everything, that it's, in other words, you automatically think negative. That's coming from your subconscious, to automatically, and there's 4 steps to getting to your subconscious mind, like to the point, like Berto mentioned, when you drive home and you don't even remember driving there. That's because you are unconsciously competent about driving home. That's your subconscious kicking in, but the steps to get there, not necessarily to get there, but the way we process new information that gets to the subconscious is, first off, you don't even know that you don't know. That's unconscious incompetence. And then there's conscious competence where you realize that, oh, I know I don't know. And then there's conscious competence, which is most of us stay at most of the time, is I know, but I have to think about it. And then you get down to the last step into your subconscious, and that is unconscious competence, where you don't know anymore. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. So, for example, the first time you learned to tie your shoes, right? At first, you were at unconscious incompetence. You didn't even know you didn't know how to tie your shoes. And then you were at conscious incompetence. Now I know I don't know how to tie my shoes. What the fuck do I do with these laces? And then you get to conscious competence. Okay, I know left over right through the hole, right? You have to think about it. And then the next step is in your subconscious, which is unconscious competence. You don't know anymore. You just tie your shoes without thinking about it. And those are the stages we go through when we're processing new information to get down to unconscious competence where you don't have to think about it. Now, here, let's connect it all. So, when you think about what you want, when you think about your dreams, right? When you think about the next thing you want to achieve, you want to be, when you think about it, you want to be unconsciously competent. You want to know for sure it's coming. You know what I mean? This is some advanced stuff, but I go all day on this. It's almost like, you're taking a pic. You have a camera, right? Now your conscious mind takes a picture of your chief aim or your goal, right? You take a picture. And then you get obsessed with that picture by thinking about it all the time. And then through the path to the subconscious mind is through auto-suggesting that you're constantly doing. And then it gets down to your subconscious. And then that's the only point where infinite intelligence kicks in and presents the path on how to get to what you want. So let's go through this again. When you define what you want, your definite chief aim, you take a picture. You press the button, that's the picture. Now you get obsessed with that picture by thinking about it all the time. And then that's the auto-suggestion, right? And that's the path to your subconscious mind. And then once it gets to your subconscious mind, where you don't even know you're thinking about it anymore, that's when infinite intelligence is supposed to kick in and fucking show you the path on how to get there. That's when it's manifested in physical storm, when it gets down to that level. Or not storm, but in physical form. And it's supposed to happen tomorrow. If you can get your subconscious to believe that you've already achieved it before you even have it, that shit's supposed to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. The thing that I would say, man, with the subconscious mind is you get to figure out who you are as a person. So, going back to the subconscious mind, think of a computer that's operating, is running, it's when you boot it up, it's running automatically, right? There could be viruses in there that are hindering the progress of this computer. And for me, I look at those viruses being like negative programming or negative behaviors that we have in our bodies or in our subconscious. So no matter how much positive thinking we might do or positive movement we might do in our conscious mind, it's not getting into our subconscious mind because of those negative programs of those viruses, right? So as a person, we get to go inside of ourselves and figure out what these programs that are hindering our progress are, these viruses, and get rid of them. But really the only way to do that is to get to know yourself and start digging deep, because positive thinking and all that stuff, it's a feel good for the conscious mind, but deep down inside, we got to dig deeper and start figuring those viruses out that are in our subconscious. That are our subconscious is the main operating system or CPU that overpowers everything, whether we want it to not. Our mind is, it can take us in a whole lot of different directions, but it boils down to on a day-to-day thing, we operate from our subconscious mind. And that's where our bad behaviors or good behaviors, basically our programming that we've had since childhood, that's where it takes place. So for us to move forward and get to our goals and get to our chief aims and all that, we get to tap into ourselves and start figuring that stuff out. And it's deep. But like Will was saying, to get to your chief aim and all that stuff and start reprogramming your subconscious mind with positive things. Get rid of those viruses that are hindering your computer, as I would say. Wipe them out, reprogram it so when it boots up, you're ready to go and you're on a smooth operating system, and then it just starts going from there. But it's a daily thing, because you slip up once and boom, you got a virus, and all of a sudden your computer's not running correctly. It only takes one slip up. It's an everyday journey as far as keeping up with it.
It reminds me of like if you tell yourself like you want something and you don't believe it, that means you're not vibrating that or on a subconscious level. It's like you have to be able to think about something so much and be familiar with something so much that it is happening, and it's like again, there are those viruses, there are those things that stop us from being able to fully believe it. And once your subconscious mind, like people have to know, like the driving thing is the perfect fucking analogy. It's like you're driving, you have fucking no clue why you got there. You can tie your shoes, you can eat a burrito, talk, walk, and do five things at one time, and shit just happens, right? You don't have to think about it. So sorry for the cars, but it's fucking hot as hell in here. So anyway, but it's like these things you'll know when your subconscious doesn't believe it, when you tell yourself I'm gonna have $1 million, and you can feel the fact that you don't truly believe what you just said, and now you know your subconscious mind isn't there. You have to figure out how to let yourself know and believe it. And a big factor of how to get there is to overcome those viruses, those things, those limiting beliefs that you were taught and programmed. I think about my wife and I and how we're programming our kids, and from a positive level and a negative level of the constant, it's so funny that your parents can do something to you and then you automatically retrain that into your kid because you don't know better. You don't know how to do it. So you throw fear and, oh, you just, all you care is about your kid. You don't want to break his neck. He's doing front flips now. And you're like, hey, man, careful. You're going to break your neck. No, don't. And then when they get older, it's, don't go to that party and drink and drive, and then don't go out and date boys, and don't. You're fucking fear, and then you're older and you want to achieve something big, and now you need to overcome all these things that you were told can't happen. Like when you're in school, it's training you to be a plumber, and a fucking nothing is training you to use your own brain. It's like, go here, please study the homework, do nothing more than that, and you're going to go work for someone, and then you're going to die. And that's how it works, and you're going to have a retirement for them because you'll be too old to work anymore. But so I got this new book, and that book is training you how to not put those blocks in your kids so they don't grow up like us. Like our parents put these blocks, our parents and our teachers and anybody who took advisory teacher role put these blocks in our brain. They put the viruses in us. They programmed us this way. Period. You know, some people are molested. There's real extreme versions of it, raped or whatever. But there's a virus that's implanted, right, programmed in you, and then you have to somehow through self help books, you know, growth, you know, positivity books, get over those things and then make them part of your subconscious. But what's crazy is when you're a kid, you're so susceptible to everything and so impressionable. I finally found the word I'm looking for, and you are programmed easier. It's easier to get in and program. When you're older, you're jaded. You can't tell me shit. You're unteachable. But as a kid, you're just like open to whatever's whatever. They're telling you Santa's real. They're telling you there's a fucking Easter bunny. They're telling you a tooth fairy comes and takes fucking your money, gives money and takes your teeth and shit. I mean, you believe whatever you hear because everything's new to you, right? And so you're programmed very easily. And then you're older and you're trying to reprogram that brain, and it's tough. And I'm in that process now. But I have this book, and it's so crazy. This book I've been reading today, and it's talking about how later on, from based on how you're either getting angry to your kid, that they will all already be programmed a certain way. And for instance, it's like, I don't want my son to be a pussy, so I'll fucking yell at him, tell him, you listen, boy. Well, now he's already scared of a man. You just taught him how to be scared of a man. You're the man, the dad. Now everywhere he goes, as long as they get loud and crazy, they're scared of that person. So now you've taught fear to your child. Now your boy is scared, or girl is scared already. You know, like you're teaching that stuff, and so it's so crazy. Like reverse engineering all this stuff. The stops and the blocks and the viruses, you're already putting their head to where they have a hard time believing subconsciously. You see these people that are excelling and winning in life. There's ones that are exceptions that have been in the dirt and then somehow made it. But a lot of these, the elite, I mean, you have the fucking guys like the Jay-Z's and the Puff Daddies and these guys that have come from the dirt in the slums and made it out the mud to be amazing billionaires. But man, that ain't fucking even a far cry. That's a drop in the bucket compared to all these other people, the elite 1%. That was because their family had already dropped this knowledge to them in the beginning, and they know how to approach and not put the stops, and they tell them you can do anything in the world you want to do, to where it's easy for them on a subconscious level to vibrate these things. I think about these things with Michael Jordan, and I'm going to fucking tie this together some magical way because I just want to tell the story. But, you know, it's game 6. They need to go to like Texas or some shit like that. It's game 6. They're going to fly away. Well, game 6 means you could still play game 7, right? If the other team wins game 6, you got to play game 7. Well, that takes 2 suits for those guys. And Jordan's just fucking pissed. He calls his team and he says, hey guys, fuck a game 7. I'm not even packing a second suit. I'm packing 1 fucking suit. There is no plan B. We're winning this fucking game. There is nothing else. And he said, I felt it fucking necessary to call my team and tell my team, I'm packing 1 suit. That's it. We can't think that there's another option. We have to 100% be in it. This is the win. We're going to win. We're going there. I'm packing 1 suit. I'm planning on 1 day's fucking deal. And that's it. And that's all in committed. You know, I stopped that show. I stopped watching the show after that. I was like, that's all I fucking needed to hear, and it made me fucking feel like, why am I watching this show? I need to be back on my shit. But the thing was, I was like, man, that's fucking pretty heavy, and that's a winning ass motherfucker, dude. I mean, he had to overcome shit. You know, they poisoned him on one of the games, and he still came back and won the game, like just going, I want it that bad. You know what I mean? There's something to be said about that. But on a subconscious level, he's able to believe that. But you can help yourself with little tricks and techniques to believe on a subconscious level like he did when you leave no other option to not believe in it. Yeah. When you leave no other option, and you just say, this is the option. I'm not wearing another suit. I'm not bringing another fucking suit. I'm bringing one suit, and we're going to win. And he makes sure to tell the rest of his mastermind, which is the rest of his team, right? The other team members are the rest of his mastermind. They're all in this together, and it takes them as well. So they all have to believe on that same level that there's no other option. This is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go in there. We're going to clean their clocks. Am I right, Al? Anyway, that's all I got to say.
So one of the things, man, like for me that I didn't until I got into this work, I didn't realize the programming that I was already doing to my kids, to their subconscious mind, based on my beliefs or my programs or the way I was raised. So that was a good point is for you to bring that up, Rob, because the minute that I woke up and actually started realizing the programs that were running me, where they came from, and how I picked some of those up, which is I still have a lot of programs that I don't even know that are in there, right? But these are just the ones that I've have discovered through this process. Was an eye-opening experience, man, because I was like, oh shit, I've actually been doing this parenting thing that I thought I was doing the right thing. But after discovering all this work and everything, I was just like, oh man, I was instilling these programs into my own kids, given my own beliefs. And since then, I've shifted in a whole different direction where I empower them, like you were saying, Rob, that 1%, right? So empowering them to think they can achieve anything, they can do anything, and supporting them and just coming from a whole different place. And that's been one of my big missions, man. Is as I grow, I want to feed that back to not just my kids, my nephews, anybody that I come in contact with. So not, at some point we get to break the cycle, and that's one of my missions is to break the cycle, not just with my daughters, my grandkids, and people to come to realize, man, it's bigger. It's bigger than us. Your subconscious is a powerful thing. And that's one of the reasons I think a lot of these successful people are successful. Like you were saying, Rob, that stuff gets taught as they move forward and it gets passed down from generation to generation. And there's people like us that grew up oblivious to a lot of that stuff.
So for us, I mean, on a simple level, for everybody out there who can't comprehend this, because I'm not saying that we're some elite, but I mean, we get a podcast about it. We're like me, I'm 90 fucking books in on the same material, and finding the correlation between every book and every difference, like really, it's all the same shit. It's as simple as this: the elite know that whatever I want to do, I'm going to go to college for that, and daddy's going to pay for it. No problem. And you can do whatever you fucking put your mind to, son. On to Harvard you go. And it's completely supported, right? And then reverse that to my type of life and everybody else's type of life and what I believe subconsciously from a instead of abundance, it's a what is it, Berto? Quick.
Just a lack of, right?
Yeah. A lack of. It's a fuck whatever the word is for it, but it's
A limited beliefs.
Limited beliefs, but it's more like basically a belief system where you're always believing you're never gonna have it, you don't have enough of it. What do they call it? Not, you don't have enough of it, so you're whatever it is. But you So let me break it down. So from a rich person's perspective, or the elite rather, it's always whatever we need, whatever it is, it's there. You need to go to college. You can be whatever you want to be. Ours is, I'm fucking graduating high school, and everybody, you know, we're not going to talk race here, but every other kid that was in a good situation was like, where are you going to school? Mom and dad are paying for me to go to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I know I'm smarter than them motherfuckers, but I'm pretty sure I am not going to school because I can't afford that shit, right? So I can't actually afford to do any of that shit. It's not happening. So the limiting belief system and the lack of everything, you start at an early age. Your parents are like, don't turn the lights off. You're wasting power. We can't afford to pay for all this power. Stop doing this. You're wasting money. Don't throw away that. You're wasting. You know in Ethiopia they're hungry. It's constantly we don't have enough of this and there's not enough to go around and there's no abundance of this shit. Be careful. There's only so much, right? It's this limited supply, lack of mindset. You're taught as a kid, there's only so much of this. Not everybody can be, Jay-Z's uncle told him. Jay-Z's a fucking billionaire and will be far more of a billionaire later. Told him straight up, hey man, you'll never sell 1 million copies of shit. And he says, I laughed and said, man, I done sold 1 million copies 1 million times, man. Fuck you. Like, he goes, and I'm sure my uncle eats shit every day when he thinks about that. But the bottom line is, but it's that limiting belief that Jay-Z had to overcome. You can, as a person who's programming, overcome your programming and get up there. And there's plenty of examples out there that do. However, the bulk, 99% of the 1%, 99% of the 1% already started with the right mindset and was programmed correctly. It's a fucking small fraction that I could probably count on 2 hands that made it to billions out of the mud, out of the bad programming. But the ones that are winning, and sometimes they call it old money, but it's not old money. It's programmed because you got a Trump. And whether you hate that fool or not, he had $1 million loan from his dad, and then he fucking figured out how to make millions a million times. You know what I mean? He figured that out. His dad's money, he built more money than his dad had. You know what I mean? His dad had, say, 100 million. Well, he made $1 billion, so he made 1,000 million. You know what I mean? So there's that mindset. I can do anything I want. Look, my dad's got a fucking $1 billion. That's that limiting belief that makes you vibrate incorrectly and is that virus that stops you from completing everything and believing at a subconscious level that you can. And you see these people that are winning, but they're starting out with the right information. There is no Tommy, turn the light off. We can't afford, you're wasting the water. It's always, oh God, there's not enough gas in the car. And there's, oh no, we're not going to have enough to make it to next week. And there's not enough food. Stop fucking drinking all the milk. None of that shit. And that kind of mindset is this, I don't deserve and I can't have, and there's not enough for me to do what I want to do with this one life I'm offered. Regardless of what religion you are, the one we know for fucking sure is this one. And if you ain't winning this one, you ain't gonna go win when you become a fucking unicorn somewhere else. So spare me with that bullshit. But the bottom line is, and maybe that's a limiting belief. Here I am limiting. You can be a unicorn in your next life, and I'm sorry. But I'm saying from what I know of now, very aware of, and know for sure is right now I'm breathing air. And if I'm in the Matrix, I'm not really. At least we're all in the Matrix here together. We're limited in belief to where we start out this way. Your parents were saying, son, you need to get in this fucking car with us and come pick some goddamn apples. Son, I'm sorry. We can't afford to buy you those Jordans. We can get you some Pro Wings. Son, I can't afford that. We don't have enough money for that. Son, I can't afford that. Son, you got to cut your own hair at 10 years old. Hence the reason I was shaved head for a fucking long time after that. Cutting my own fucking hair. Hence the reason not until 2 years ago did I start getting my own fucking hair cut by a barber. I've always cut my own fucking hair. This literally, like, this literal lack of mindset that's programmed into you that makes it hard for you to understand and believe on a subconscious level. And it takes a lot of techniques, and Will has shown me a lot of those techniques where I've had the, like, breathing and believing what it's like in those things. And for instance, I made this video tonight specifically to watch it. I wanted to watch me talking about what I'm all about and what I'm going to sell, much in the same environment I'm talking in now. And it was so like, fuck, I believe, because I'm watching a video. It was more of a, like, in fact, I wrote it down as a tool that to watch it. It's because it's not the one, but it is a version to, it's like me creating a version of our video of Vita and making you watch it, Roberto, so you can really go, okay, I believe in myself because I look at that and that's pretty fucking awesome. It's that thing that helps you kind of go, okay, I'm bought in. Okay, on a subconscious level, I can believe that this is possible. It's this building block piece to get this subconscious to do it, because if your subconscious doesn't do it, it's hard to take the rest of the fucking train with you and go, okay, I need action to come with me, I need follow through to come with me, I need fucking, the accountability, you need all these pieces of the train to come with you. But if it's after belief and you don't believe, you aren't going to get the action out of it. You aren't going to get the follow through out of it. You're not going to get the commitment. There's just so many other factors that don't come in if you can't believe on a subconscious level. And most people think they do, so they go through the motions of doing it. For instance, Roberto, he goes and he shoots a video, then he goes and does this, and then all of a sudden Rob says, come on down here, Roberto, I need more vocals for Avita. And he says, oh man, I'm just really big with work, and there's all this self-sabotage going on, and I joined this thing, and then he never shows up, and he never comes, and then it's like, hey, we need more of this, and he would say, no, no, no. Those are the little things, pretend that's how you were. If you didn't believe enough, you know what I mean? That would stop you from doing it. You would go through the motions to make you think that you're believing in yourself, but then you don't do it. I've been there myself, you know what I mean? I'm fucking right there. All it takes is that one little push because I believe in myself to really grind it out and make it happen. How close was Snoop? I mean, I've been sitting with Snoop and Ice Cube and all them motherfuckers so many times. And with the right mindset, I would have made it happen with them a long time ago. With the lack of subconscious belief and true belief, I know I didn't believe enough. I would need to go fucking on tour with R. Kelly's manager, the Vernado brothers, Snoop Dogg, and all them. And you know what I did? I put in my 2 weeks notice, but I remember being like, oh, fuck, here goes. I got a house payment. I got fucking all dirt bikes. I got all these things. I can't be on tour, and I'm freaking out about it. You know what I mean? In my head, subconsciously not going like, fuck it. A person who believes says, fuck it all, jump off the ledge. I'm bringing one suit to this 2-day fucking deal. I'm bringing one suit. This is it. A true believer who subconsciously believes in themselves, like a great, like a legend, like Jordan, they know to just wrap it up and be like, fuck it, I'm wearing one suit. I should have been like, I quit now. Fuck a 2-week notice. I need to get ready for this tour and be out of town. Even though it failed, but that shows the lack of belief, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. This is super. This is kind of an advanced kind of an advanced topic, but it's it's so necessary to understand. Because we have a lot or most people, have a lot of negative, deep entrenched neurological pathways in their brain from everything you've broken down about what your parents have been telling you not to do and all this type of stuff, trying to do the right things, but all these negative neurological pathways we have in the brain. So every time something comes up, we automatically look at it negatively, So this is such a crucial topic, because if we don't start digging these trenchways out and start replacing them with positive neurological pathways, it's going to be extremely hard to even just start to even accomplish anything, to be honest. You have to get those negative pathways dug out and replaced with positive ones. So how do you do that? How do you start digging those pathways out? And honestly, to just make it extremely super simple, all you really got to do is just think about feeling good all the time. Simple. I feel good. I'm going to feel better. I want to feel better, and start changing those thought patterns, and start, digging those pathways out by thinking, feeling good. I'm feeling good now. I'm even feeling better. This is just the simple. I mean, it doesn't get any more simple than just thinking of feeling good all the fucking time. And you will start to dig those pathways out and start replacing them with positive ones, and, start getting that positive bubble bigger than the negative bubble. Then you can really start creating things faster and be able to put more intensity behind your thoughts, because you don't automatically have doubt. I want to pay off my debt. And because you have all these negative neurological pathways in your brain, the first thing you start thinking about, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? I can't see that I can do that. My job sucks. I'm not getting paid enough. Automatically, you're going to all these things of why you can't do it and have no idea why. It's because you have deep entrenched neurological pathways you need to start digging out. I want a new car. How am I going to do that? How am I going to pay for that? I'm only making this much at my job. I have this many bills. You know what I mean? And now you're just automatically creating doubt that you can't get it. And not even, most of you won't even realize it. I happen to be a place where I pay attention to every single thought, period. Every single one. That's a little bit obsessive, but it's the only way I was able to dig my trenches out quick. Is because I literally, every single thought. And if it was, oh my gosh, I'm trying to tell people, I don't want to talk about what I don't want. And I don't even shoot, but I'm still at a conscious, competent state, because I'm not unconscious competent about just never saying I don't, then I change it. It still hasn't seeped in to my subconscious that I unconsciously confident about thinking positive all the fucking time. And I've been mashing this shit for 3 years straight.
So So
Is there no sales? Okay.
so you say that it's easy. It's not easy. So you got to stop with that shit. It's not easy. If it's taking you how many years to like get past it and then be good at it, you've had falls and pickups and all these valleys. It's not as easy. It's like Nike's thing, just do it. Well, that's easier said than done. If it was that easy, it is just do it. It is that easy, then everybody should be fit and in shape because it's just get up and go to the gym. For most of us, other than people that are handicapped and shit. But it isn't as easy because you have these mental bullshit ass things, and it hasn't been and isn't as easy as just telling yourself something nice every day because that practice alone takes you to literally consciously first think I need to tell myself these positive things. I have literally only been doing it for about a week now or 2 weeks now where I started doing it in the car. One day I did it to myself in the car and I was like, I pumped myself up and I was like, oh shit, that fucking hella worked. Like, I was like, what the hell? I was like, no, I pointed at all the positives in what I had done so far. And every time I start to get down now, I'm like, no, man, you're like boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden it's just starting to work now. It's easier said than done. And I don't give a shit what no one says. If it was that easy, then when the fuck isn't everybody doing it? Because coming from you, if that was that easy, you'd be a billionaire already. So and you've struggled with it.
I did struggle with it.
So you struggled with something that's just easy.
I remember saying easy. I meant keep it simple and just think about feeling good all the time. I don't know what part was easy, but
You, you,
I
you
might have missed. I might missaid the word easy. I apologize.
yeah, it's recorded now. Yes, I'm gonna start winning some arguments.
I'm back. People fucking with my internet. I missed some shit.
Fucking up my internet. So no, it's perfect because I have a two version screen. So like, as soon as I see you go, I just go to two version, and the podcast it's represented well, just like switches to two screens, and it's almost non-existent.
So I missed a little bit of whatever happened, but yeah.
Will's talking about like kind of like telling yourself like as a tactic to that you're and it's true because that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks and it's really fucking helped me. You guys know for a second there was this whole like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I got bills and like son of a bitch, and I got a lot of shit on my plate, and like but like telling myself it is as positive affirmation, but it's like telling myself and the constantly telling myself like what I'm doing and that you're good and that in feeling good, like Will said, this focusing on feeling good, what makes you feel good, and to start focusing on it. It's like a huge tactic, and a lot of the stuff of you're kind of reprogramming yourself again, tapping your subconscious. This is huge reprogramming. You've got to believe because you don't have parents and these people telling you this stuff, and basically Will just kind of was going on the, you know, telling yourself how do you feel what what makes you feel good, well like feel good now kind of thing, like if you really sit there and focus on that you can do it, and that's what I've been doing that like the last couple weeks, and it's helped my stress and my shit because I overthink every fucking thing on earth. Now when I wake up in the middle of the night and start tripping out like I normally do, it's because it's that lack of mindset, like just being in there, like it's just like I'm not always fully the superstar guy. I struggle sometimes. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, and now every time it starts to rear its ugly head, I got techniques, motherfucker. Like, and now those techniques are like, whoa, hold your horses, dude. You do this, boom, and I'm back off to the races, back to normal again. Then I'm feeling good, and so it's kind of cool. I almost welcome those stressful fucking things rearing their ugly heads because it's just a little like, boom, and then I attack it with greatness, and then I feel great the rest of the day because I just pump myself up just to get over it. And now I'm pumped, as opposed to just a
Yeah.
regular day. So I'm almost like, hey, come at me with some sideways shit because I'm ready for that to turn into some great shit. You know what I mean? Oh, somebody
Yeah.
shit on my car. Right on, man. I needed to wash those rims anyway. So you take the car to the fucking car wash, you wash the turd off, but next thing you know, you're like, hell yeah, now my rims look good. Hell, I would have been driving around mediocre all day, but now I'm on fleek everywhere the fuck I go. So like you almost like, thank God that bird shit on my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the thing about the feel good thing and the thinking positive, all that shit is I should have put it. It's almost like a band-aid. You know what I'm saying? It's good for the short term, but for the long term of your success and who you are as or I'll say of who I am as a person, you got to go deeper. You got to go into your actual subconscious mind and reprogram that shit and figuring out what those viruses are that are running your everyday life and get rid of the ones that are not serving you or serving me or us or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But the feel good thing, yeah, it's good. It's a feel good thing now. But for the long term, it's just, we got to think about life is not a sprint, man. It's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? So we get to go in and figure out what it is. What are those programs? And it's different for each one of us. So you want to be able to go in there and get rid of those and reprogram yourself with better programs. So with that, there's alpha, there's beta, there's delta, there's theta, all these different states of being that we operate in. So one of the or two of the times in the day that you can actually tap into these programs is right when you're waking up in the morning, first thing. I'm talking, you're just opening up your eyes, you're coming into state of consciousness, right in there, or right when you're going to bed and you're going to sleep. So there's I think it's delta. So right when you're getting into it, we can actually tap into your subconscious and start reprogramming it. So that's where you start looking at your I am affirmations. I am powerful. I am successful. That type of stuff. Uh, I have yet to do it. I've used other people's recordings, but you can have recordings where that as you fall asleep or as you're waking up, this stuff is repeating into your mind. It's going into your mind, but it's going into your subconscious mind without you even realizing it. So you're finding ways of reprogramming it, and it takes time. It's a over and over and over and over thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the ways to do it. But
So hold on. So this is exactly what I was talking about with this stuff. Is it's this is what I hate about this, and this is what makes us different, guys. So I know you're sitting there going, "What in the fuck?" That's where you're typing your alpha, beta, delta, fucking phi, and this is how you got to just, guys. These people just blankly say this. We're not going to do this. You guys just blanketly just say stupid ass shit like you just got to reprogram your mind. It's easy, simple as fucking ABC, and that's what we're talking shit like that right now. Like, guys, just reprogram your mind, and they're like, well, I don't know any of this information. How the fuck do I know how to reprogram my mind? That's why I'm watching you guys. And then we're saying these things like just reprogram your mind and positive. A lot of the fucking terminology, they don't even know what the fuck's talking about. So I wanted to take a chance to jump in here. Right now, we're working on some shit that will help you understand this on a more detailed level. Roberto will probably be able to even take you to other people as other resources. We're going to start actually putting these resources in our description and links to certain books that will help you understand and have these techniques of reprogramming your brain. Because right now, I was just thinking from the layman's term or spot, and they're sitting there watching this going, just got to reprogram your mind and the alpha beta phi. Like you're like, okay, I'm lost. Like there's no way, skip. You know what I mean? But we're gonna start having this stuff in the description to where you guys can actually go in and find some of the stuff. You want to dig deeper, it's up to you. We're gonna brush over it. And Berto just got hella deep on us. Will got hella deep on us, talking that shit that it was easy. But with the right information, it is. You know, with the right stuff and having a good base knowledge, it is. And so we're working on something right now. Will's got some stuff in the works, some tools, some simple tools that are completely free to start with, and then working on a course to really help you guys get into this shit for real. Unless you're just doing great in life and you don't need it, but I know I need it. But a lot of that stuff is over your head. But we're gonna start putting stuff to where we can recommend that in the description. So you'll be able to just go down below, click the little down arrow, and it'll have links and descriptions and shit to where you can actually go in and get information, because this shit would be way over anybody's head. I mean, not everybody's spending 30, 40, 50 grand like Roberto going to seminars and courses and learning how to actually train this shit. But we will start having that information, because right now even I'm lost to what Roberto's saying, and I'm 90 books in.
Let's be fucking clear. I never meant to say it was easy, fucking period. And I was trying to simplify this for people who are first starting out. You're first starting out, you're starting to watch some of these podcasts, you're starting to kind of, maybe want to take a look at some of this information a little deeper. So this is exactly why I mentioned about feeling good now, is because this is the basics of the basics and simplifies all this. That just to make things super simple, just concentrate on feeling good now. And this simple technique of constantly thinking, just this easy concept, you don't even have to know what makes you feel good. Just feel good about feeling good.
The most basic of the base, the most basic of the basic of this is not as simple as we think. We're fucking way deep in this information. It's easier said to be easy, and for people that are depressed in life too, just feel good. Just fuck. That's easier said than done. Look at Kurt Cobain; he's a bazillionaire. I could go on for days of people have killed themselves. So just feeling good is actually pretty hard.
Yeah. Where I was going with it, you can feel good. That's a good thing. It's a good way to get started. But as you progress through the work, you need to realize that there's things deeper inside. If you really truly want to change things inside your subconscious mind that is programmed, you got to go deeper.
We're not even there yet.
I know, but I'm just saying
we're not even there.
There's deeper. But if people that are watching this show right now, I'm telling you right now, they're going out and feeling good. That's a step. That you're recognizing it. You're recognizing that, okay, there's a change, there's other things coming. But for your longevity of your success and reprogramming yourself, your subconscious mind, the way you operate, you're going to have to tap in deeper. And you're going to have to commit and go further inside of who you are down the road as in the subconscious. But to start, you got to get the wheels rolling, right? We got to start somewhere. But I just wanted to get that out in the open, that it's deeper than you realize. And until you start actually getting into the work of figuring out who you are as a person, subconscious, all that, there's a lot of other things that come into play. But if you're getting into this work down the road, you're going to have to go deeper. If you really want to reprogram that computer that you're operating on, you have to go into the BIOS and start actually figuring that shit out. If you even know what a BIOS is, but whatever.
Right, let's overcomplicate this. The flux capacitor of the D9X. We're gonna get it, but it's super easy. Like, no, that's my point is we're way so advanced, but at some point we're gonna have more information to where people are gonna start digging in. And again, a lot of this is like you're not even gonna want to watch this unless you've already been probably already read Think and Grow Rich or some sort of book that's kind of helped you get where it is, or you're in self development. In the second phase of it or something, but there's just so much shit we're talking about that like you and Will talk about that's like even past me that I know like somebody watching. Well, there could be a bunch of people watching more advanced than I am as well. So I mean, it could be to whoever, but it's like some of the shit's hella fucking out there. Like hard to wrap your head around. And especially with a blanket comment, like you just go touch the flux capacitor and the fucking D9 touch. Like
Well,
people are going like, fuck, what does that mean?
yeah, I'm just throwing it out there because yeah, we're throwing the basics out there. But for those that are starting the journey, realizes that's not where it ends. You're gonna have to go deeper. You're gonna have to figure that shit out. You got to go in deeper to get rid of those programs that are running your subconscious. Period. And it goes beyond feeling good every day. Feeling good and these little basic steps are the basic steps that are going to get you in that direction. But so I throw all this complex shit out more to feed you with the information that if you truly want to change your subconscious and these programs that are running you, you're going to have to commit even further. So that's the only reason I threw that stuff out there.
Oh, it's gonna be soul searching, but that was my point was that not that you're too complicated, but that we're gonna start having something you can actually go, okay, I'm lost. I.e. me, for an analogy, me learning compressors and equalizers and music, and it's like I learned the base knowledge, and someone talks some advanced shit on me, but they had some material I could go watch and learn and kind of catch up and get up to speed as to what it is. But of course, yeah, this is a life journey and you're trying to develop yourself and figure it out. But, it's like a lot of the stuff is not easy for by any means. None of it's easy. In fact, that's what I learned this weekend when you guys were all here hanging at my house or this last weekend as like I kept thinking, why doesn't everybody do this? What the fuck's wrong with everyone? And realizing that we're just regular people. What the fuck's wrong with it? Realize we're not normal people. We're not regular people. Normal people don't easily do that. A lot of people have these same issues we have, but cannot bring themselves to get over it. And I think about the conversations I have with some people that I'm like, man, you're amazing. Like, just do this, this, and that. And they're like, I can't see myself doing that. And they end it there like, that's it. That's a wrap. Like, there's no effort to get better. Netflix and chill, motherfucker, and that is the norm.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. There's through everything that I've done, there's a state of being, or I should have put it like when you're operating from your conscious mind, you're just kind of operating. When you truly tap into your subconscious mind, which is basically your heart, when you travel those 12 inches or whatever it is from your head to your heart, it's when you actually start feeling and acting in a genuine way. The more thinking you do with your head, the more disconnected you're going to be. The minute you drop out of your head and you actually start thinking and feeling with your heart and do those actions, which is your subconscious, and that's when things are going to start changing for you. But that's just going to take time, practice to get there. So there is a big difference between both. Will fell asleep over there.
I'm chilling.
We're gonna interview his drink there. He has front and center. Hey guys, my phone. We're gonna interview that guy.
All right.
And this is how you follow with positivity in your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying with positivity, part of that is just to fall asleep in the middle of nowhere. That's really good.
Like
But yeah,
what programs are running you right now?
yeah, exactly. It's easily it's easy though. It's easy, no problem. Just
Yeah.
feel good right now. But yeah, but my point is none of this shit is actually easy. Hence the reason. I mean, if this shit was easy, I wouldn't have had to read 70 books to fucking figure, or 90 books now to even figure it out. In fact, I'm in the middle of one now. Like, still, it's like, and then kind of like some of it's so redundant, but it's just like relearning the information and reapplying it and trying to it be part of my programming. But it's like my initial programming is like, yeah, fuck you, and restarting. So it's kind of, there's like a building piece of it, and it is a life journey. Like it is you're gonna have to dig deeper. You're gonna have to go in and fucking do some deep soul searching and figuring it out and figuring who you are. Some people they get it through like a divorce or they get it through like something fucking massive like a loss in their life and they get all the way down to the ground bottom and they're defeated and then they rebuild, meaning reprogram from there. But some people get it from like real huge devastation. You know what I mean? It's they could be in Katrina or some wild shit happening, and that helps them become a new person. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that phoenix out of the ashes kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if
So,
you're living a normal life, it's almost harder to go from normal to correct. You know what I mean?
yeah. And as you're going through this, man, you're gonna have a lot of different emotions coming out. And just remember, emotions. It's really up to you what meanings you want to assign to them, whether it's anger, frustration, whatever. And then to think about that. That's just the programs that are already running you inside. So, however you want to react to the situation, that's your own programs that are running you already. So that should be a big red flag popping up. Like, oh, okay. So the emotions that you're going to be coming up with is going to be uh, intense at times. But at the end of the day, you got a choice of what meanings you want to assign to those emotions.
I'm just kidding. I'm not actually saying this is fucking around. But yeah, no. Anyway, um, yeah. So that's subconscious. So basically, if you can't believe it and you aren't like vibrating that way, and that isn't what's in your actual core belief, you know, when somebody tells you, and when you start talking that shit about money, and you start talking about, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna write a book, or I'm gonna make a movie, or I'm gonna be the next Grammy award winning artist, that kind of shit. Like, if you don't truly believe it, you'll know you don't believe it on your subconscious level. You know what I mean? That's that's the big thing. If you believe it on a subconscious level, you'll know. If you don't, you've got some of this work to do, and that's where right now, like we've got to. I mean, we as a team are gonna start putting some of this shit together and start creating those links and actually have some of the stuff like reference material, books, things that you can read to actually help you actually on that journey. You know, some of it Will's working on. Um, there'll be tools where you can do it because right now, like you for me, like I said, it's kind of advanced. You know what I mean? It's like to even talk this shit. It's just kind of like you would have told me this shit when I first started learning this material. I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. Like I don't even know, have a clue what you're talking about. You know, and not everybody's as unteachable as me, but I think maybe everybody is because here I am, and there's a lot of people that are out there hanging out there and just not even know what to attach to. You know what I mean? Um,
But
so
I'll give you props right now, Rob, as far as like knowing you since we were kids to where you're at now, and the information that you've learned and you've gained. I've seen you being able to into yourself and get rid of some of those negative programs that weren't serving you, and you've been able to almost like put those back in, or positive programs into your subconscious, where you're operating differently.
yeah,
But that came with getting to know more of yourself and surrendering to the, oh, this is real shit, right?
yeah, surrender's probably the best word for it because I'm a motherfucker. And so yeah, no, surrender is like, fuck. You gotta fucking believe in some really fucking corny shit that you just don't believe. Like, you're like, it's hard for me, like, just to be like, yeah, fucking in the tree probably has feelings. Like, some of that shit, like, to me, I'm like, man, I'm a rugged ass motherfucker. I came from the hood. I've lived on the streets. I've lived in fucking Greyhound stations. I've lived in a fucking water tower. There's a lot of stuff that programmed me kind of fucked up, dude. So when someone looks at me like I'm fucking Leave It to Beaver and expects me to just take in information like I'm the Beav, I'm sorry. I just don't take in information like that. Usually I'm like, does this motherfucker got a shank in his back pocket and he's trying to get me? I still notice myself. I'm at Goodwill today, like fucking every fucking 13 seconds I check my wallet. Period. I'm not wired like a regular dude. But even I am able to kind of go, hey man, there's something to be said about this info, especially wanting to do something major, right? From limited belief system to like actually being able to take advantage of like the knowledge and really kind of go like, yeah, some of it makes sense. But I had to have a lot of experience to help me understand that, hey, if I was to apply this knowledge 10 years ago, would I be in a further place now? Yeah. And so that undeniable piece for me helped me believe further. But I still like you and Will be getting at it in our mastermind thing and talking some hippie ass shit. And I'm like, man, these crazy motherfuckers with this crazy shit. But ultimately, I know you guys are right in my heart and my soul. But I'm programmed really fucking wild. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough. I'm not just a fucking guy who says, "Oh, Jehovah Witness, that must be the one I'm in." Oh, Mormon, I'm in. Oh, fucking Muhammad Ali or whatever the fuck, I'm in. Oh, Christian, I'm in. Oh, yeah, I could go on the fucking path of fucking 5 million religions. I'm in. Because they all say the same shit. Don't you believe? You have to have faith. You just are not teachable. You just don't have the faith. And it's like, wow, there's a lot of motherfuckers spitting that same shit. And so I'm skeptical. And I'm like, man, get over there with that crazy shit. You mean every one of you religions says if I don't fucking believe this, that I'm not teachable? I don't have. And that shit makes me kind of go like, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm not trying to
So,
hear it.
so I'll have a question for you, Rob. When you've been in your head, operating from your head with the thoughts, all that shit, what's the difference between that and when you actually surrender, actually start drop down in your heart or your subconscious and start operating from there?
That's a fucking amazing question. I think that's going to be very helpful to a lot of people because I am a hard case. Probably the hardest. Uh, I realize what could be worse than where I'm at now. Mentally, I'm in a fucking amazing spot with life and all that shit. But mentally, and the next phase, which is going to be very large, but it is. It's. I come to this point where I go, you know what? Am I living my best life mentally? Am I at the best place in life mentally, in my relationships with people and my outlook on life in general? The one life I have, right? You got to have a great you should have a great outlook, or fucking do something else. But right, um, but it's kind of like, is my belief system now better than this one I'm looking at? The way I believe now, the way I currently believe, jaded as fuck, whatever it happens to be, even 5 million times worse. I have folders where I've had Ricky and Rio at my house that say some shit on them about, they're just like, I can't believe that's the same person, right? But I'm not even gonna repeat it on camera. It's so bad, um, embarrassing. But anyway, but the thing is this new belief system that will take me to that next level better than where I'm at? So the surrender is more like, well, do I have a better belief system? No. So then fuck it. So when I'm skeptical about this belief system that I haven't even tried yet, I have to ask myself, this is a bitchin' example. I have to ask myself, is my current belief system so believable and so fucking resonant with me that it resonates in my soul that I know it works? Is this the right belief system? I go, fuck no, this is all fucked up. This belief system I have currently, actually not, I'm talking, give me a year, I'm on my way to something better, but is this better than the one I'm looking at? Can I see the benefits of the new belief system? And so I surrender to the new one, because what I currently am dealing with a year ago is like, yeah, none of that belief system's good either. The walls up and the fuck everything else and nothing, and this is the way, like, if that's the way you want to view life the rest of your life, then by all means go with it. But that's, my surrender happened because I had to go, my current state wasn't better than what I'm kind of entertaining at the time, learning about, and am I at the best me I can possibly be? No. So then I need to surrender. And that's what it was. It's really kind of surrendering to that, kind of going, you know what, I've got to fucking check myself. You know what I mean? I don't know everything. I know that much. I mean, that's my one benefit I've had my whole life, is I know that I don't know everything. As much as people think that I'm a narcissist, and I am. But I know deep down that I don't know everything. You know what I mean? But it's surrendering to what's new and taking in information based on the fact that the current information I have is not adequate and sucks. And that's it.
And I guess to spin off that for both of you guys, a question is, when you guys are thinking about being something or doing something, is there a difference when when it's actually in your head versus when you actually operate from your heart? When you're making your decisions from your heart, from a genuine, humble place, compared to when you actually drop in and you tap into yourself genuinely with love, with all those emotions that come with it, versus when you're operating from your head.
I don't
So,
I don't make decisions from my head. I never have. I mean, I truly have never. I mean, as much as people go, well, you're from your heart. I've always been, if it doesn't make me feel right, I can't do it. I won't do it. Hell, I'd be a multimillionaire fucking regional vice president, or fucking divisional president, or something of a company right now. But because in my heart, hence the reason I've been able to follow my dream, even if it's on a half-ass level for this many years, I cannot operate if it doesn't resonate in my heart. That's why I'm a serious motherfucker. I'll tell you how I feel to your motherfucking face. Period. Because I don't operate from another level. I don't operate from a bullshit fake ass level. I don't do it. I can't do it. And deep down in my heart, everything I do is for my heart. Period. And so everything I do, whether my heart resonates the right subconscious belief system, is a whole nother deal. But I resonate from my chest. And if I don't feel right about a situation, I say what I fucking feel like. My wife says I'm a girl. Period. I know that sounds emasculating as motherfucker, right? You act just like a girl. Well, that's what's wrong with being a girl. Girls are cool. I like them. They're pretty hot. Anyway, but my point is, I'm a girl because I operate everything is from my chest and my feeling and my emotion, and I don't make decisions based on fucking just here. You know what I mean? I am very here, but if it don't fucking make me feel right, I won't do it. I'd be a lot further in life probably if I did.
For me,
What's that? I interrupt. Sorry.
for me, it's the same. I think about something, and if I'm feeling good about it, I'm going to make the decision and feeling good about it too. That doesn't mean it works out how I thought, but to me, it's almost kind of the same. If I think about it, and if I'm thinking about it, and it's not resonating with me, then I'm not going to do it. So to me, it's the same. When I'm thinking about it and I'm excited about it, when I go down to make the decision, I'm making the decision because I'm feeling excited about it. I honestly feel this is a benefit, and I'm doing the right thing. So to me, they're the same.
Roberta's gone again.
But for people that are kind of just first watching this, it's almost like you have to get to the point to where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because if you never get to the point to where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you're really not going to change. You're not going to change anything. You know, and back to kind of what Robert was saying when he's getting blasted with his information, it's like, he's wanting, he's at the point where should he listen to it or shouldn't he listen to it? You have to be, look at yourself and ask yourself, is this something that do you want to be a better person? You don't know what you don't know. So maybe you want to be, do you want to be a better person? And if that's the case, then you have to be willing to learn and willing to accept change in your life to be successful. This is a very deep, this is a very deep conversation. The subconscious, it's not something you think about at all. But it's almost all this stuff is important, but it's almost the most important to achieve the things you want is to get in your subconscious to believe you can achieve it. And that is not easy. That is it might be easy to learn this information, but it takes time to apply it, see some success, and build your confidence that you can achieve anything. That does take time. But this is an extremely important topic. But it's a deep one. It's this is some advanced. That's why I said at the beginning of this podcast, this is an advanced topic.
Yeah, your subconscious is like, there's no way to just like to even. I would never have known that fucking concept had you not broken it down to me. like how that all works. It's like Berta says, "I'm out. My internet's fucked." So that's a wrap. Berto's gone. But um, you don't have a phone. But anyhow, but yeah, it is hella advanced, right? Like it's understanding that there is a different way than you believing isn't your head. It's in your heart, and isn't that it is your heart. You know what I mean? It's like that. If for people to just break it down in layman's terms, how do you feel in your heart about something? You subconsciously believe in something. You know, it's like telling it. You know, I think here's a good example. When you're with a girl and you're telling yourself you love her, but you know in your heart you don't. You know, in your heart of hearts, you're like, I don't feel it. I'm not vibrating at a subconscious level that I'm into this person. I'm just trying to go through the motions and be with this person because I care about them. But your heart are not like, this is the one. That is your subconscious. That is the exact same fucking thing. It doesn't, if that subconscious level, you're not like, that's the one. You're vibrating that way. When you're mentally going, I just think this is a good person. This is the right person for me. Jimmy's a good provider. He comes home on time. He doesn't go out and have beers with the guys, and he helps around the house, you know. And it's all these like logical decisions as to why, as opposed to how you feel and you vibrate at a core level. That's subconscious, and for me, I think that's a great example of like, if you've ever been with somebody and you feel like you're there just to be there, but you like they seem like the right person and they're a good person, and but you're not feeling it in your chest and soul, that's your subconscious. And if it's not vibrating that way, it ain't what it is, you know. And you'll never get past that. You're in your head telling yourself that's the right person. If you have to tell yourself that's the right person, that's not subconscious. If your subconscious tells you, your head doesn't have to think about it. Same thing with your dreams and goals. Is if subconsciously you know you need to be there and that's what you want, your head's out of the game. You know what I mean?
And here's another angle on it too is your feelings will never lie to you. Your heart and your heart and your mind will lie to you. But your feelings and your intuition will never lie to you. So when you're sitting there, and you know, this is a good point when you're sitting there with the girlfriend or whatever, and you're like, I love you, but you don't. You should take a snapshot of of that exact moment, and you should apply that to everything in your life. Because now when you come at decisions, that's your kind of your intuition, right? Now when you come to decisions, how do you feel? If it feels good, go for it. If it feels bad, that is your intuition telling you it's not, don't go there. And I've been through this exact scenario, going and opening up a recording studio. My feelings told me, pack your shit and get the fuck out. And I didn't do it. And then I ended up eating shit. But then it's, you go back, well, no such thing as a bad decision, and it's just what you don't want, blah, blah, blah. But my feelings told me, don't do it. And I didn't follow them. And I have a lot of regrets about that, you know? But now I know also too how strong that feeling was. So now when I come now, any other decision, I know my intuition is on point. You know what I mean? Because it was just pumping, but I didn't listen. But, you know, there is no wrong decisions. But if I would have listened to my intuition, I would have never done it. And who knows what that path would look like, right? But your feelings will never lie to you. Mm.
My thing is you'd still be a coffee guy, you know. Like, I was like,
Oh,
it
because
was
that scenario didn't play out.
well, if you
We
hadn't
have no,
jumped,
we have no idea what would have happened. That scenario never played out. So we could be anything.
my thing is you're in a pretty good spot now, so it's probably something you shouldn't regret. You know what I mean?
Yeah, parts of I am in a good spot now. And parts of it I will always regret. And if I had the chance to do it over again, I wouldn't fucking do it. 100%. I wouldn't do it. Because nothing is worth the shit going on with my child right now. So if I had the opportunity to do it again, I would say, fuck no, I'm out of here. Period. But I made the decision. So now the shit happened that's happened. And you just make the best of it and led me down whatever path. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't do it again. There's no way I would. But it's important to just know to pay attention to your feelings. And it doesn't even mean you always follow them, but they will never lie to you.
That's pretty interesting because that's just a double edged thing. It's like not jumping off a ledge and just staying and just coasting that line. And we're talking about like being dreams and following your dreams and shit. And it's like, well, to make sure I'm safe, I'm just gonna stay safe. That's the sheep mentality, though. What you did was
Right.
not a sheep mindset, but you're saying, which is very interesting actually, that you would have stuck with the sheep mindset, kept the basic 9 to 5 to maintain the kid thing, because that's a for sure deal where you get to keep the kid situation right. And that's tricky. That's crazy. You know, I mean, not
Absolutely,
it is what it is.
absolutely I would. But who knows what happened? I still had this information. I still would have been studying this information. I still would have found another way. But we don't know that scenario. You know, I'm in this one. So who knows?
But
Who knows if it would have been better? Who knows if it would have been worse?
but
We don't know. The point is, this is the one.
but another way without taking a leap. You know, I mean, everything with this information is a little bit of a leap. That's why you've got to believe at a fucking subconscious level. You don't have to believe at a subconscious level for fucking basic logical steps, but at a subconscious level, so you can believe in yourself, it takes a little bit bigger leaps. And if you're scared of big leaps in the first place because you want to just maintain status quo and be the sheep and just go, I know for sure a job, I don't want to fuck up the kid shit. That's kind of a blurred line there.
Uh, I wouldn't have looked at it like that. You know, I could jump off this fucking cliff later, but right now, I need to make sure I can continue to live, live without the struggle. But who knows what happened? I could have jumped ship later. You never know. I still had the information. I was still studying it. You know, my feelings told me not to do it, but I decided to go for it because I think I was doing the right thing for the right reasons. And then my life went in the shitter.
Yeah, you're
It wouldn't have went there, but if it went in the shitter, you know, I wouldn't have anything to talk about right now.
Yeah, you're whoever you were around, you know, and if the people you teamed up with to go do it is probably why you didn't feel good, because if all three of you jumped out, started a fucking studio, and just never did shit to make it happen, that ends there. You know what I mean? It's like it was. I don't think the jumping it was the bad idea. It was the people you chose to jump with, who said they were with you three ways. You know what I mean? And then just kind of left it hanging in your pocket. You know, well, because if three people would have been in on that, that shit would have been a lot easier to manage and do. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't blame it on anyone else. I'm the one that made the decision. I'm the one responsible, not because of who I was with or what they were doing. I'm the one that made the decision. So I'm the one that's responsible for what happened afterwards. Uh, period. It was me. It wasn't about anybody else. All this other stuff going on, that's what was feelings told me don't do it.
Yeah. Ownership is great and all, but you made a decision on basic factors, which is this person's in, and I'm in, and we're all three going to do a different part. This guy's going to make the beats, I'm going to mix, this guy's going to do whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have these factors, and if they pull out, is ownership is great, but you made a decision based on these guys' integrity following through on their ends too. And that's how it all works. It's like if you went in a partnership with a lawnmower guy, and one guy knows how to cut the trees and the rest you know how to like landscape the lawns and make them look good and run the shears, and homeboy with the tree fucking chainsaw says deuces, and your business falls out because 90% of the money was coming from the trees. Is it all your fault? No. I mean, yeah, sure, ownership's great, but when you made a decision based on certain factors and those factors go away, based on the team, it's really the people you chose to be with that's a bad decision, as opposed to the decision itself. You know, your decision to start a studio wasn't bad. It's the people you went with were fucking retards. You know, that's just all there is to it. You know what I mean? You went
Oh,
in,
what?
you were all in, and they weren't.
No, I wouldn't say that. It was. I should have followed my feelings, period, and I didn't. And if I could do it again, I would not make the same decision.
That'd be a good idea not to, because you definitely shouldn't have if you don't if you don't believe in it.
Yeah. No, I believed in it, but I didn't listen to my feelings.
Well, if you believed in it and
I,
your
I,
feelings
believed,
were like don't do it, then you didn't believe in it.
I believed I was doing the right thing, but my feelings were telling me don't do it.
Sounds like you were very confused.
And I choose to just go for it.
You have
So
like
yeah,
you have two different personalities thinking there. That's the scary part, is like I don't believe in it. My feelings say don't do it, but I believe in it. It's like one or the other, really. You got to figure out how to find that one, because it's like I feel like this is a bad idea, but I believe in it. Do you? I mean, that's probably the key point of subconsciously believing in something. Your head saying one thing logically, and your heart is saying another. You didn't follow your heart. You know, the subconscious is believing one thing. But that's the scary part, is when your subconscious believes that you can't do something and you follow your heart, which your heart maybe not fully believe in you. And now you're believing your brain, and then your brain keeps you as a sheep your whole life, when your heart subconsciously either believes in you or doesn't. And sometimes it doesn't believe in you, and so now you're following your heart to not do whatever it is. So it's finding that one singular thought, getting your mind's eye to work with your fucking subconscious and be on the same page is the big thing. You have both those going towards whatever it is you're trying to do, you're gonna win. But if not, you're basically duplicitous. One, my chest believes one thing and my fucking brain believes another, and now you're gonna be making bad decisions all day. You know.
yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're confused, and that's kind of the point of this. If you can't believe it subconsciously, then you're going to be confused and making bad decisions. You know.
I didn't feel confused.
I mean, it sounds like confusion if you believed that you could do it and you were going to do the right thing, but you in your heart said, "My feelings are saying this is a bad idea."
Yeah,
That sounds like
I,
confusion to me.
I believe I was making the right decision, but my feelings were telling me you should not do it.
So that doesn't sound like confusion to you? That sounds like confusion to me. Your feelings are saying one thing, but you believe the other? That's confusion. It's two totally different thoughts. That's confusion.
I don't look at it like that, but whatever.
So, so how do you look like? You think that's a solid thought if you're believing one way and you're feeling another way? That's
I
not.
believe I'm making the right fucking decision. But my feelings were telling me you don't want to get in with these motherfuckers, man.
So that's confusion.
So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna make this fucking work, and I did it. So, however you want to put it, I don't really give a shit.
Well,
I'm over it.
that's the concept of subconscious, though. If you can't believe it on a subconscious level, you're not making a strong decision.